Hey everyone. All right, so here we are today at Matthews Ranch and we are going to talk about throwing knives. There's a lot of things that you should look for when you buy throwing knives, and know that everything in the movies is fake. You can't just flick something and end up in someone's throat. There's an actual technique. We're actually going to throw some knives today, but first let's talk about what you should look for when you buy a throwing knife.
Throwing knives are awesome. They're fun. It's also something you need to take seriously and take safety seriously, which means don't throw when you're too close to the target and it's going to come back and hit you, because it can hit yourself, hit someone else, hit your stuff, and they're destructive. So, first thing first, make sure you're far enough away from the target. Second, throwing knives are gonna get damaged. So, there's $50, $500 throwing knives out there. I personally don't like to spend more than $30 on a throwing knife, purely because they are gonna get destroyed. You're gonna have fun with them, and that's what they're meant for. This isn't a crazy tactical thing. No one is out there defending their home with a throwing knife. This is fun, and it's a good skill to have just to be able to throw.
So let me see one of these. These are two totally different types of throwing knives, but they're super heavy. I would say this thing weighs like 3 pounds. Notice the head on it is much larger than the tail, because I assume when you throw these things, you want it to warble towards the arrowhead, just like an arrow. And so you have it front heavy and top heavy. This one is totally different with only one straight edge. So what's going on here?
Okay, so number one with throwing knives, they don't need to be all that sharp. You're gonna penetrate mostly with the edge. If it's too sharp, the edge will actually get broken. If it's not too sharp, what happens is you get good target penetration and they don't break so easily. Second thing with throwing knives is length and weight matter. So a very light throwing knife, unless you're super skilled, isn't gonna go 20 feet. It's not gonna go 10 feet without losing its ability to hit on target. I personally like throwing knives with this heft and about 1 foot long. You can control rotation better, and when it comes time to throw, you can be a little more consistent. You can learn the weight of the knife and know how to rotate it so that when it throws, it rotates and hits the target with the point.
So let me ask you a question. I see them in the movies, they grab the tip and they go, you're saying hold it by the handle.
So you can either do a quarter rotation, which means if I'm throwing it from here, I let go and it rotates from point up to the target. You can do a half rotation, which means you hold it by the tip and you throw it and it rotates half the length to the target. You can do a full rotation, which means you throw it and it comes back and it reaches the point. Some people can do 2 or 3, but the reality is if you throw it hard and it rotates a lot, it's dumb luck. And that's not what knife throwing's about. You aren't gonna throw 14 knives and hope 2 stick.
So what you're saying is if it's tumbling over and over,
It's a roulette wheel.
that's not a skill.
No, that's not a skill.
You want it traveling at a minimum of a quarter and a maximum of a half.
Or 2 if you're good enough, but you have to be able to control your wrist right when you release, and you're controlling that rotation so when it hits the target, it's tip first.
Well, what do you want to do? You want to throw some knives?
Let's throw.
Yeah, all right, so here we are at Matthews Ranch, way out in the middle of nowhere. 40 acres of his crazy animals and throwing knives and swordplay. So here we are at this far west corner of his ranch. So he set up this wall of wood and a bodyboard there, which obviously has taken some damage and abuse. And he's standing about, how far away would you say?
This is probably about
Can't hear you.
15. This is probably about 15 feet.
Okay.
I like to throw at bodyboards because they catch without chipping or breaking the blade,
All right.
and they don't dull it all that bad, which is nice.
So you're trying to save your blade actually by hitting the bodyboard, but you could nail it into that wood if you wanted to.
You can. It also reduces the bounce. So if you hit it bad, the bodyboard absorbs a lot of it and the blade doesn't go flying. So I don't have to go pick these up all over the place.
All right, dude. Let's see you throw. All right, so that rotated, looked like 1.5 times. Let me see, how are you holding that? So,
This I'm holding by the handle.
right.
And I'm doing one full rotation if I can get it right from here.
Okay. Looked like it should have stuck. Nice.
So we're gonna throw like there's something on the ground this time.
Whoa, that was cool. Seems like since these knives are so heavy, it would do damage if you hit it even with the tail of it.
Yes. You hit anything with these things and they're gonna do damage. But the reality is most people don't understand. And in a life or death situation, you aren't gonna be throwing a knife at anyone. Maybe if they had a gun, but you aren't gonna arm the person who is dangerous to you. If you miss, you're giving them a knife.
Whoa, that was good. Nice. So I noticed that you have a kind of a box of blades here. And you have these typical movie-looking ones.
Mm-hmm.
And a whole bunch of different ones. As compared to these monsters that you were throwing. So what's the difference? Why don't you like these?
So these are fun, but because of their weight and because they're stainless steel, they have more of a brittleness to them, so they break more easily.
Okay.
The tips will break off. They'll get chipped a little more easily, and you can't get as much power or distance because they're a quarter of the weight.
Yeah, look at that thing. I mean, it's very thin, but it looks cool. It looks like what you'd see in a martial arts movie.
Yep, and I can still throw these, maybe not as well.
Yeah, they seem really lightweight.
See how many rotations I had there? Way too many.
Yeah, it flipped over a few times, but that's because it's light.
And that's why you stay far enough back, these knives don't hit you.
Hit the tree. Nice. I do not throw knives. I've tried it once, but I want you to teach me. So, like you're teaching everyone else. So, I've got these crazy knives in my hand. They're heavy. They weigh like 3 pounds. And if I just throw it, I know nothing. That thing flipped over 5 times. So, you're saying it's in the wrist.
Yes.
I don't know what to do.
So
So,
as you release, you're going to focus on your wrist, only sending it rotating a half, a quarter,
so
or
I
a full.
start at a 45 and here.
So that you're gonna focus on a one full rotation. So when you release, your goal is for the whole knife to spin around one time
So
and
I'm
meet
at a
the
45.
target.
I'm at a 90. I'm at where do I start?
You start at a 90 and you release with the knife close, yep, right there.
Now it's stuck, but it flipped over twice. That was pure luck. So what am I
Yeah.
doing wrong?
So you need a little more oomph on it so that when it reaches the target, it's there. You want it tip first.
All right, let me give this a shot. So I'm gonna start at a 90. I'm gonna end up here, release at the end, and now I'm gonna just put a little more snap to it. See, now I want to do this, but I shouldn't, right?
Yep. Get that. There you go.
It's really difficult, I will tell you, not to lift your arm and get some momentum in there, or even cock it back further than 90. It doesn't seem natural to start here, but it just did work. And that didn't. So you're gonna have to try it yourselves. But as you can see, Matthew's been doing it a while, and even some of those didn't hit. But now I'm gonna try the star, just because. And what the hell is this thing? This looks like a double-ended nail with a handle on it. And of course I'm gonna try to throw this. Now what do? Hold the end of it or something?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna do that. But first I have to throw a wicked star because it looks fun. Woo, that is fun. Okay, so now on this, I just hold this. It's weighted even, actually it's weighted in the center, so I don't know how it's not gonna hit the center. Same thing?
Same thing.
All right. Oh my God. Come here and look how deep that went.
Weight affects penetration.
Look at that thing. That is, oh my God. That is full on. What is this?
That's a cold steel spike of some kind.
Cold steel, it says right on it.
And cold steel blades are inexpensive and great for throwing.
It does say made in China, which I'm not a fan of, but if you're gonna pick up something that's fun to throw, I mean, look at, did you do this or did it come like this?
It came like that.
Look at that crazy knife thing. But it's fun.